I'm BKLaz, and this is Urban Eyecon Magazine. My name is Lazarus Nunley. My business is RTS Photography and Design. My moniker is BKLaz. I've been a photographer now for over 40 years. I started in 1977, and the preceding 10 years, building my craft and working out the bugs, if you will. And then in the mid-'80s, I decided to go pro. Well, what has really changed about photography over 40 years is that it went from film to digital. When I started, it was all film. We did color reversal, which is known as slide film, and of course negatives. And then in the late 90s, early 2000s, it went to digital. And that was a game changer, because now things went from waiting to the processing of the negatives and the development of the pictures. You could see your work right now. And so that was a good thing in one respect, but a bad thing in my opinion in another. The good thing is you can see it now. But for a lot of people, digital became a crutch. And I think, in my opinion, as a result of that, knowing the technique of photography and how to use light, I think a lot of people kind of fell off on that because they could see it here and make the change. With film, you had to know it. You had to know what your f-stop meant. You had to know what your aperture meant. You had to know how to use these things together along with your shutter speed to capture an image. Digital, you can just point and shoot, look at, oh, it's too light, make your adjustments, shoot again. And you don't, in my opinion, you don't have to have the technical expertise that we had to have with film. My favorite thing I really didn't get to do, I'm a military historian. I love to watch and to look at military documentaries. So I grew up as a teenager during the Vietnam conflict, and I followed that war. And I was just intrigued that there were people out here actually in this taking pictures. That's what I wanted to do. And as crazy as it may sound, I didn't have a fear, but that was not realized. And I think a lot of it was because I had a child at an early age. So I don't know, having that child may have saved my life. I don't know, but I say that to say this, even now, I like to shoot events, things that happen on the streets. I've shot fire scenes, I've shot crime scenes, and I've been in situations where, things are going on and I'm comfortable there. But I also like shooting other events, such as sports and live events like that. So it kind of, not being able to really realize what I wanted to do, I went into another area. Like I said before, shooting sports and then shooting people, models and portraits and things of that nature. One of my biggest influences was Enzo Adams. This man used a box camera. He didn't have the modern technology that we have now. But with that camera, his shots of landscapes and mountain ranges and just river valleys, it's just unbelievable. And I used to just look at his work, and I still do to this day. I look at it, it's like this guy, and I'm like, man, I wish I could shoot like that. I don't think I do, but man, for me, that really pushed me, to say, hey, you may be able to do this. So, and that's what I did. I think that's one of the things that really got me going. What can we expect from BKLaz in 2018? That's a good question, because the industry is still changing. One of the things that I noticed, and this is, I guess you could say this is one of the things I'm really going to get into, is editing. Editing was something that was done in a darkroom, i.e. with the labs back in film days. And then when digital came along, at the start, people wasn't doing a lot of it like they are now, because you had Photoshop was in its infancy. There was no such thing as Lightroom. And then as time went on, these editing platforms, of course, became the mainstay. So one of my biggest goals for 2018 is to really step up my editing game. And I realized, as an old school photographer, in order to step that game up, I was gonna have to associate with young people. These young people out here got it going on. And I would tell anybody, in my opinion, if you wanna be successful as a photographer now, stay on point with these young people, because they will teach you a lot.